This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
Welcome to Primates Podcast, the podcast where we go through primates in popular culture from Chimpan A all the way down to Chimpan Z. This week I'm joined by two very special guests, Alexei from maybe my favourite podcast, Mike Check.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
What a pleasure to have you in.
Well, the pleasure is all mine, and perhaps I'll share a little with you guys as well.
We're also joined by Dave Warnicky, who is my co-host on another podcast called Do Go On. Welcome, David.
Hello, my pleasure levels are also at 100%.
We also at the end of the show we have a segment which is called something like Primate Sporting Mascot segment.
Yeah.
And I go through the beautiful world of sporting mascots and find my favourite and also the only primate sporting mascots I can find, really, because it turns out there's not that many of them and I'm running out very fast. So if any listeners know of any, please message in. Do you have a favourite sporting mascot? You're a big sports man?
I've never seen a full episode of sports in my life, so I'm not quite sure.
Not even season 1?
Not even season 1 of any sports. I missed out.
Oh, there's this one in Japan. It's a baseball mascot. I can't tell you the name of it, but it is
please.
Basically I'm sworn to secrecy. It's like the bones of a fish.
Okay.
Inside, that's just like, it looks like a man inside a bone suit.
Okay.
And then over the top, they put on a big round fish costume that they run around and hold up like you're wearing like a fake cardboard car or something. And then they run around in that.
Oh,
and then
my God. I was imagining a cartoon and couldn't follow what was going on.
No,
now
this
I
is
understand.
real. They run around on the field and then
Yeah.
they squat down inside the fish. So it's just the fish with its mouth gaping open. And then they just dive out. So the bones are being flung out of it.
Whoa.
It is hilarious looking.
That is beautiful and insane.
Oh.
Bing.
Probably from the twisted mind of Stan Winston himself.
Oh, no, I think I found it. I was going to say Bing did not help me out, but is it this?
Yes, that's it.
That is
Wow.
pretty amazing.
That is it. The mysterious fish mascot.
What does it say? It looks like a baseball, the fish.
Yeah, so it's a baseball
So
shape.
it's a baseball team.
But it looks like one of the deep sea sort of glow in the dark type fish because it's got that. It's
What
got
are those-
that like sort of like a pop up lamp thing over its head.
Yeah. What are those babies called?
The Chiba Lotte Marines in Japan. So that's the bones of it, and it sort of spews out of this. It runs around the bone suit, and then it jumps back into the fish, and then keeps running. It's very funny to watch.
This is one of the best things I've ever seen, and I just watched Congo.
top 3 or 4%.
I think you've beaten my primate one. That is an amazing one.
Yeah, so there's like a still of it jumping out.
Wow.
So you can share the video of it, Matt. 'Cause
I will
it's really
do that.
Good fun.
Dave, that's
And
amazing.
there was a video that went around a couple of months ago.
Oh my gosh.
Of it at the airport waiting for, like, the person in the bone suit waiting for the fish costume at the luggage return
That's
at an
fun.
airport.
This is amazing. This is one of my new favorite things.
It's really fun.
That is great. I've never heard of
The
that.
Chiba Lotte mascot. There you go.
Maybe I should give sports a chance,
Yeah,
actually.
Exactly.
This is what sports is all about. The primate sporting mascot I was going to talk about this week is the A-Leagues. You familiar with the A-League, Alexei?
The Hyundai A-League is the local rag of sports and soccer, I believe.
It's the soccer. Yeah, it's the Australian Soccer League.
Yeah, Sydney FC. I'll vote for them.
Yeah, their mascots are Blue and Sky, two blue humanoids.
Oh, that's
Oh.
very dull.
Okay, that's
so
awesome.
dull they needed 2.
It was a real committee decision, that one, I reckon.
They could only afford 2 members of the Blue Man Group. They couldn't get the third.
But the one we're talking about today is Perth Glory's mascot, George the Gorilla.
Glory, Perth, Australia. I've actually seen one Glory game. I was allowed to go.
Your
watched?
story is
Yeah.
unraveling.
Yeah, I'm
You
like,
watched a full episode of Glory.
but it was live, so it was a play.
Right.
It was like a play for me.
All right. Yeah, you're like, oh, the third act is going to be great.
In 2015, the Daily Telegraph ranked all of the A-League's mascots and rated George number 1,
Okay.
beating even Blue and Sky.
Well,
No.
not Blue
Sky
and
Blue.
Sky.
Do you reckon they were separate on the list? So Sky's at 2 and Blue's at 5, and
Yeah.
Blue's like, what the hell?
What the
You've
hell?
ruined it for me. You've ruined it.
This is what they said. I think once you hear this, you'll be on board as well. It's a purple gorilla as the mascot for Perth Glory. What's not to love?
Yeah, that's number one, baby. Yeah. That's how you get to number one.
Yeah, I mean, how bad are the other ones?
Do you have a picky of it? Can we have a sneaky?
You can have a sneaky peek.
Is that him
He's doing a piss.
He's doing a piss above a fountain? So he's straddling a sprinkler and making it look like he's pissing.
Doing a thumbs up.
What a ledge.
Well, do you want to know a little bit about the man behind the suit?
No.
For it to be a mystery, please.
He's a man. Well,
Okay, I'll allow it.
block your bloody ears.
Okay.
I thought this is the theatre. This is an actor. This is the
Okay,
guy that
sure. I'll give the guy respect.
You know?
Personally, I think theatre's trash, movies rule.
This man treads the boards. But, you know, it's shown on Fox Sports sometimes. So what is that if not a movie at 24 frames a second? So the man's name is Simon Lumbus, and he's a 44-year-old father of 3. He told the Age newspaper last year that he has no plans to hang up the suit just yet. I used to do gymnastics a while ago, and I was in great nick, and backflips were easy, he laughed. Funny joke.
You used to be?
Right now, it's getting a bit harder. Gravity is not my friend, and the suit gets a bit tighter every year.
Oh my goodness, he's putting on weight.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. He's putting it through the wash on a very high heat setting. Cool it down, George.
As well as playing George, Lumbus also dons the Perth Wildcats mascot Wilbur's suit in the NBL, isn't National Basketball League, as well as playing Rick the Rock Eagle for the West Coast Eagles and Johnny the Doc Docker for the Fremantle Dockers, who were arch rivals in the AFL.
So,
Probably the archest of rivals.
He has locked down the West Coast.
Yeah.
so that was the NBL team from Perth?
Perth Wildcats, yeah.
He's done all 4.
Yeah.
The big 4.
My gosh. This is if someone got to play Dracula, Wolfman, and Frankenstein's monster.
All in Perth.
In a radio interview with 6PR, he said that he keeps it pretty quiet that he plays both the Docker and the Eagles mascot.
Yes.
Oh.
We are exposing this
You've
fraud.
you've doxed this freaking guy, dude. You've doxed him.
He said when people find out, he's hated. They don't like him at all. But I also did say he told this on radio.
Yeah.
He said on radio he keeps it quiet.
He's got 3 kids to worry about, man, and you just shocked the country with it all.
No. So the question is, what happens when the 2 Perth teams play each other?
Well, he did address that. He was with the Eagles first, so he does Eagles. So there's a Docker for 1 day a year, or two matches a year.
Wow.
So why not just get that anyway?
Get a new Docker. Sorry, mate.
So you watch it,
Sorry,
but you also might be like, won't they just look the same? You go to a Fremantle game, you go, hey, this looks like all the same. Well, no, because he takes a different approach.
That's awesome.
He says the Dockers mascot is tough, fit, strong, while Rick is more of a rock star who's just incredibly cool.
Oh, gosh. Hell yeah. He's actually my favorite actor.
I mean, he's pretty good. He plays 4 roles weekly.
4 iconic roles week to week.
It's pretty amazing. We should get going, but Alexei, I know I've been pushing the pressure on a guest because I don't have a sign off or anything yet. And if you could just riff a primate related sign off to go out on, no pressure on it being amazing, but I'm sure you can make it the best that we've ever had. But thank you so much for joining us, Dave.
Thank you, guys. Goodbye.
And thank you so much for joining us, Alexei. And as we always say here at Primates Podcast,
Well, it's time for this ape to make its escape.
so good.
Surely that's the best one so far.
That's one.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates. I mean, if you want. It's up to you.
Thanks so much for watching that video. I'm now in the studio all by myself. What a sad tale. But anyway, I do appreciate you checking that out. If you enjoyed it, you should listen to the whole episode of that podcast. That episode was about the movie Congo from 1995. And Alexei, Dave and I chatted about that. And then, of course, that sporting mascot segment at the end. We do that each week as well. In previous episodes, we've talked about Rally Monkey from the Anaheim Angels, and we've talked about the old Fitzroy Gorillas, an old Aussie rules team, amongst many others. And all the old episodes are about different primates in popular culture. Like we did an episode about Donkey Kong. We did one about the Marvel character Hit Monkey. I've done episodes about Dunstan Checks In and George of the Jungle and lots of other things. We did an episode of The Simpsons where they did a musical about Planet of the Apes. Real fun stuff. So feel free to check all that out if you want to, and like and subscribe to this channel or whatever they do. I'm not used to doing these sort of videos. But anyway, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. And as we always say here at Primates Podcast,
Well, it's time for this ape to make its escape.